of our mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. It's a remarkably hot hat. Into every generation a slayer is born, one girl in all the world, a chosen one. She alone will build the strength and skill to fight the vampires, demons, and the forces of darkness, to stop the spread of their evil and the swell of their number. She is the Slayer. I love the story of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. When I was having a hard time working on my PhD thesis, I would come home and curl up on the couch and watch her stake vampires and slay demons, and everything would seem to be okay. I'm not sure I would have survived the horror that is a PhD without her. But that opening monologue never really rang true to me. Buffy might be meant to be the one girl in all the world, a chosen one, and she might be meant to fight alone, but she was actually surrounded by family and friends. She had a bit of trouble coming out to her mother. Her mother's response was, "Honey, are you sure you're a vampire slayer? I mean, have you tried not being a vampire slayer?" But her family and friends were what kept her alive and connected to life. As her one-time arch-nemesis, the vampire Spike, put it, a slayer with family and friends, that sure as hell wasn't in the brochure. In the very last episode of the TV series, Buffy decides that she's not going to be the only chosen one around, and with magic wielded by the very awesome witch Willow, calls every single potential vampire slayer at once. The creator of Buffy, Joss Whedon, is proudly feminist, and this comes through in Buffy's speech to the troops. From now on, every girl in the world who might be a slayer will be a slayer. Every girl who could have the power will have the power. Can stand up, will stand up. Slayers, every one of us. Make your choice. Are you ready to be strong? And they are. Buffy is the only supposedly solitary superhero to be part of a community, a circle of friends. Superman is sent to Earth as a solitary saviour. Batman is a solo vigilante lurking in the darkness. Except they're really not. Where would Superman be without Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and Perry White? Where would Batman be without Alfred, Robin, and Commissioner Gordon? Harry Potter is the boy who lived, but he would have died long before his final confrontation with Voldemort about Hermione and Ron. Frodo alone is given the task of getting the One Ring to Mount Doom, but he needs Sam to carry him there, and Gollum to put it in the fire. The Doctor is the last of the Time Lords, and has been referred to as the Lonely God. It was the wonderful Sarah Jane Smith told him, "You know, you act like such a lonely man. But look at you. You've got the biggest family on Earth." The crew of the Starship Enterprise, the crew of the Firefly-class transport ship Serenity, SG-1, all work it out much more quickly. If you're going to save the world, or save the universe, or just keep flying, you need a team. That's why Nick Fury assembled the Avengers. I've argued that sci-fi and fantasy show us the importance of community and friendship. Since we're actually here in the church worshipping God, it won't surprise you that I'm also going to argue that as a community of friends is the particular way that Christians are called to live out our lives. Among his many other roles and identities, Jesus is an example of the ideal friend. His ministry was about befriending others. He related to those around him as equals. His relationships were relationships of mutuality. He accepted food from those he helped. He allowed himself to be ministered to by women, and he was willing to have his mind changed by others. We see in his relationship with Peter a friendship in which mutual love overcomes mutual exasperation, and Peter's misunderstandings. And in the Gospel according to John, we see a friendship in which there was no exasperation and misunderstandings to be overcome. The relationship between Jesus and the beloved disciple. Jesus acted as an ideal friend as the world understood it. In a world full of hierarchies and people with power over others, friendship stood out as the only relationship based on equality. A relationship of reciprocity and mutuality. Friendship was the only model of equality that the ancient world knew, and so it's friendship that Jesus offered his disciples. In the reading Andy read today, we heard, "I do not call you servants any longer, because the servant does not know what the master is doing, but I have called you friends." And so the Christian community is made up of friends of Christ, who are also called to be friends of each other. It might be hard for us to be friends with every other member of the church because we're also very different. But if Ruth and Naomi can manage friendship, we can. The love between Naomi and Ruth is profoundly counterintuitive. They were Jewish mother-in-law and Moabite daughter-in-law, and it demanded great sacrifice from Ruth, who left her own country and her own people to accompany Naomi to Judah. We might not be able to be as good a friend to others as Jesus was, but we can definitely follow the examples of Ruth and Naomi. And so finally, I'm going to quote an author to whom I don't usually turn. In his encyclical on Christian love, Pope Benedict XVI argued that the reason we can love our neighbours, even when they're people we don't know or people we don't like, is because we see them from the perspective of Jesus Christ, and his friend is my friend. I disagree with Pope Benedict on pretty much everything, but here I think he's absolutely right. We are Jesus' friends, and through him, friends with each other. And so, as I said, Jesus gives an example of what friendship looks like, and so do the vast majority of superheroes, as we're about to see. And in case you weren't convinced by my eloquence, we're going to see it in another form. This time, we're going to have a bit. So if you sit back and look, we've got a bit of romance, we've got very little